Most of the time, creativity isn't blocked. It's priorities that we lack. And before we get into the how to change this, I want to give you my testimonial on how I got my creativity back or unblocked it, so to speak. I've been an entrepreneur since I was 25, 26 years old. And in that time, I've had the ups and the downs. The pandemic has come and gone. And after the pandemic, I don't know if you realized it, but it's so easy to be distracted in life. Social media is crazy. I remember in 2016 when like Instagram was about like pictures and stuff. I remember when they first rolled out stories, and it's crazy to see TikTok and what everything has become. Anyway, I'm 30 now, obviously. I realized that my creativity wasn't where it needed to be earlier this year in 2025 when I had this ongoing anxiety. I was having these pretty bad night tremors, and I would wake up in the middle of the night. My heart was racing. It would feel like it's about to come out of my chest. I'm like, yo, is this what a heart attack is? I'm jumping out of the bed. My girl was panicking, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, yo, something's got to change. I thought it was the coffee, so I stopped drinking coffee. It's still happening. I'm like, okay, well, maybe it's the weed. I stopped smoking weed. It's still happening. And something told me that my brain just couldn't handle the information. Not only am I a father, a full-time father at that, a full-time entrepreneur, and a coach to other high executives and entrepreneurs, I have a lot on my plate. So if my life isn't where it needs to be at, then how am I going to maneuver all of that? How am I going to be a leader? So I went on this detox. I read this book by Cal Newport, and it's called Digital Minimalism. And I did a digital declutter. So for 30 days, I got off of the internet, and I only used LinkedIn because LinkedIn was how I prospected for new clients. It's not a very I don't want to fucking look at LinkedIn news. It's not a social media to me. It more so is just a work tool. So I would wake up super early and I would do my prospecting on LinkedIn. I would post a couple times, send a couple comments, and I'm off. And for the rest of my day, I was, if I didn't have a client, I'm reading, I am learning to play the piano, I'm exercising, something of the sort. And I realized very, very soon, like within 48 hours, that my night tremors stopped. My anxiety ceased to exist. And I felt a whole lot happier and more fulfilled with my life. And that's huge for me. And it will be huge for you, because when you feel more fulfilled about your life, your moments matter more. And I'm sure that you've had that moment where you wake up at like 7, 8 o'clock and you look up and it's noon, and it's like, damn, how the hell is it noon? And by the time you finish that sentence, it's 5 o'clock, and it's like, how the hell is it? Now, my days, like every single moment, I'm present with it. And I don't have this lack of abundance feel with my time, because I'm pouring so much life into every single moment and second that I have. And that's the result of me cleaning my palate. And that's what I'm encouraging you to do. When I cleaned my palate, I was able to create music at a much higher rate. I was able to stop trying to do so much, because I have a natural tendency to, because I want to do it all. Let me do it all, do it all. But oftentimes it's not about doing it all. It's about doing a select few things over time and allowing it to compound. As I spoke about in my last video, our brain is a servo mechanism. It's like a heat-seeking missile. So we need to build up a large sample size of doing the exact same reps every single day for our creative mind to do something magical, right? After going on my digital declutter, I realized the importance of allowing the creative mind to do its job. My faith skyrocketed. My faith in myself, my faith in my mind, and ultimately my faith in God, because not everything is in our control. As a matter of fact, what we can control is like 1/10 of life. We can control ourselves, the goals that we set, and how we respond to things. And that's just about it. Everything else, we have to leave it to a higher power. Or if you don't believe in God, we have to leave it to an unseen force that we have no control of. My creativity has brought me to a place now where I know exactly how I feel, and I know exactly how to take care of myself when I'm off course. Before, my brain was like a three-way street. It was traffic going in three different directions, and there were car crashes and car wrecks throughout the day. Every single day, I would have a high point and I would have a really low point. And I was like, damn, like, am I gonna die like this? I started to really contemplate death. And that shit started freaking me out because I've got two sons and a bonus daughter and my girl, and like I've got so much to live for. But I was contemplating death like it was right around the corner because of my intake. I was taking in the wrong types of information and way too much of it. So fast forward, I do my digital declutter, and on the flip side of it, my business skyrockets, my creativity is at an all-time high. I'm focused, I look good, I feel good, and I got more friends than I had. I was not I was always a social guy growing up, but in the last, few years, I had lost my social appetite, and I didn't really feel like I knew myself, and I would second guess and overcorrect and be like, maybe I should stand like this or act like this. I don't know this new 29, 30-year-old version of myself. It wasn't that I didn't know myself, it was that I wasn't allowing myself to exist in my own skin. I was trying to do too much. But enough about me. I want to encourage you and give you some advice. I want to give you 4 ways that you can bring your creativity to the forefront and make the most out of your life. And number 1 on that list is to upgrade your standards for pleasure. It's so easy to get caught up in the internet, masturbation, other people's business, Netflix, Amazon Prime, you name it. It's so easy to get caught up in distractions. And over time, distractions will compound in the negative direction. And now you are addicted to a cheap dopamine. It's kind of like cheap liquor that gives you a hangover instantly. People can't sit with themselves because they've been taking in a cheap dopamine for so long that they don't know who the person in here is. So upgrade your source of dopamine and embrace boredom, because where boredom begins, creativity is born. And your creativity, your more expensive dopamine, so to speak, is going to come in a form of moving your body. It's going to come in a form of creating the content, not just consuming it. You're going to get, from reading a book, from catching flights, your dopamine standards are going to increase, and that's what you want. You don't want to take in the cheap dopamine and be responsive and reactive to everything. You want to be an actor, not a reactor. The second way to influence your creativity is to embrace solitude. And solitude doesn't mean to become a hermit crab and no longer talk to your friends. You can embrace solitude in a crowded mall on a Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Solitude means that you block your mind off to being influenced by any other man or woman's perspective. It's just you and you in here. Solitude for me, I was able to invite it into my life from being alone. And now I can go out in public and I can find solitude. A book that I read gave an idea of creating a solitude, a solitary room in your mind. And when you go into that room in your mind, you design it, by the way, make it really, really nice and fancy, and think about all the intricate details of what's in there. But when you open the door and you go into that room of your mind, there is nothing but peace, and nothing can penetrate your armor. It is just you and you. So embrace the solitude. When you do embrace the solitude, you're going to find that your best ideas and your best hunches are magnetized toward you. And allow them. Don't judge them, just allow them. The third way to influence your creativity is to work in projects instead of goals. And this, honestly, is my favorite because goals gave me anxiety. I'm a super driven person, and I've always had high standards for myself because I know that there's greatness within. But I would find myself always setting and resetting my goals and starting over, And goals gave me anxiety. They put me on this deadline. They made me feel like I had to hurry up, otherwise I wasn't gonna make it there. And I heard an idea from another book I read, Psycho-Cybernetics. He said, call it a project instead, because a project inspires action and creativity. A goal inspires work. And from that point on, I began to create projects that I work on for short bursts of time, 30 days, 2 weeks. I'm working on this project. And at the end of this project, I'm gonna see, how everything went. But working in projects takes the pressure of coming through off of me. Even though now I'm a lot more successful and I come through a whole lot more for myself, it isn't necessarily about accomplishing the goal. It's about how I show up, and I can pour more into each individual moment, kind of how we said earlier on in the video. And the final way to influence your creativity is to suspend your doubt. And that's an idea that I got from the good old U Squared. He says, suspend disbelief. What happens when you suspend your disbelief is you erase all your doubts from your mind for a period of time. That's why we call it suspending, not erasing, but suspending. You say, okay, I'm gonna set this super big goal, or I'm gonna work on this super big project, and I'm gonna go for it. And for the time being, failure is not even an option. I can't fail. So I'm just gonna act like I'm gonna win, because I am. I don't doubt. I'm a doubt in January, but like it's December right now, so I'm not finna doubt. And when you do this, and your creative mind is like, you sure? You sure? You sure? And you don't send any doubt to it, your creative mind, it loosens up, and it can sit back and say, okay, bet, since I can't fail, I haven't pulled this lever over there in a while, so I'm gonna pull that lever. And now you're brought new opportunities. New people are magnetized to you. Your days feel a whole lot more robust. You are the influencer instead of the one being influenced. And ultimately, you have a level of supreme belief that you can pass on to your loved ones, your friends, and your family. And that belief in yourself, it compounds. Everything in life works in a form of delayed gratification. And delayed gratification is like compound interest. It's gonna keep compounding, whether it's daily. Compound interest is daily when it comes in the form of delayed gratification. You do a task every single day for 30 days straight. And although it's 1% better every day, maybe on day 17, boom, it explodes. And now you shoot to the moon. And now, even when you do go back to doubting, it's like, bruh, well, you got to find a new floor. What's the floor for your doubt? Because you set a $5,000 goal and you made $50,000. I don't really know what doubt is anymore. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thought process behind it. I really hope this video inspired you or influences you to embrace your creativity and allow it to breathe. I also hope it influences you to take a step away from media for a second, because it's never going anywhere. And it's hurting our world. It's hurting our minds. It's hurting our spirits. And it is devaluing that which has made humanity incredible to begin with. Individuality. Embrace your individuality. You don't need ChatGPT to think. You grew up your whole life without a robot telling you what the right answer is. Tell yourself what the right answer is. Take some time. Pick up a book. Go get the Kobe book. You feel me? Life is not as hard as you've been making it. All right, let's get out of here. That link in the description box is a 30-minute call. You set up that 30-minute call with me, and we will talk about your goals, your strengths, and your weaknesses, and see if the Lionheart 60, my custom breakthrough program, is a fit for you. During that breakthrough program, you are going to find life-defining moments that are going to help you to build your character, ultimately recognizing your self-worth for what it really is and putting ideas like we just talked about in this video into use. And we do it together along the way. So if that sounds like something that you would be open to hearing more about or seeing how it would affect you on your journey, click the link in the description box. And also don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm your boy Lionheart Chris, and I'm gonna see you in the next one.